Hey everyone, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about horses that come from auction houses and the stigma that surrounds them. And more specifically, I want to talk about a horse that we picked up at auction because I might have an announcement to make after that. So, first of all, not all auction horses are broken down or have problems or have health problems or behavior issues or are unsound. And I feel like a lot of people just make the assumption that, oh, like it's an auction, there's something wrong with this horse, it got dumped here. And that's not necessarily true. First of all, know that there are different types of auction houses, some a little bit more reputable than others, but it doesn't make them bad. And it doesn't mean that a good horse won't pass through there. Are your chances as high? No, not necessarily. But, good horses still go through a lot of auction houses, random auction houses. So, and I want to do a video on auction houses later, just because I think it's important for people to understand what's actually going on out there. Especially here, I'm in the Ohio River Valley region, and I think it's different here than it would be for like a Texas auction house or out west. Again, there's a lot of regional things to horses. So I just kind of want to talk about my experience and what I know. But I more specifically want to talk about one horse that we picked up at auction, and it's this girl right here. And her registered name is Badger the Concha. And we picked her up about 5 years ago at an auction house in Ohio, and she was about 4 years old. Now, a difficulty of buying at an auction house is you might not get to meet the seller and you don't know a lot of the history of the horse. So you better be good at what you're doing. I am super fortunate that my father-in-law was absolutely amazing at finding quality horses. He could find horses that would ride well. He found good looking horses. He's bred some really nice horses. So like he just had a knack. And I think this is something that he's just developed in the 60 years that he was into horses. And he was just amazing at it. So it's not something that everybody can do. There are definitely people with talent and definitely people that have developed talent in finding horses like that. So he was excellent at it. And we found this horse at this Ohio sale barn, and she had a note attached to her stall that said that she came from a rather large ranch in Texas and that she had 90 days reining training on her. She's absolutely beautiful, big gray, like fell in love with this horse. She was 4 years old. Wonderful. So we buy this horse, we take her home. She is a little skittish. I wasn't allowed, like she wouldn't let me near her back legs or her side at all, like head contact only, which was, relieving that she wasn't head shy or anything like that. But I started working with her. And one day I was going to ride her and I saddled her up. I took her outside and saddled her up. And my father-in-law was like, wait, before you get on. He's like, just walk her out there a little bit. I was like, okay, super confused. I didn't know what I was going to do or what I was getting into. Well, 2 steps with that saddle on and she exploded. And thank God I didn't get on her because that 90 days reining training, I mean, they must have meant that they stood her outside in the rain for 90 days because she wasn't broke. And this was huge because now I had no clue what I was doing. A lot of the stuff that I've learned from my time on the farm and with my father-in-law. So this was going to be a new adventure. So between him and my trainer, like I was always asking my trainer, what do I do? What do I do? I was able to get her a little bit broke. We got her up to a walk trot, and then my father-in-law decided that he wanted to breed her. So she's had several babies since then, and she's thrown absolutely amazing babies. Just, I can't say enough about them. So then this past year, I was given the opportunity of picking the stud for her next baby, and I was so excited. So I really wanted to go with the cow horse line. Like she has some old school cow horse in her. So super cool. And I was really excited about it. So I picked a son of Metallic Cat, one shiny metallic. Here he is here. And I was really hoping for a baby that comes out super cowy and is an amazing athlete. And we'll see what happens. So I was not prepared for what I was going to experience to get this mare bred. I personally had never been involved in any of the breeding process for my father-in-law's past foals. So this was all new to me. And I reached out to the vet that he uses and I said, hey, I'd like to breed to this stud. And like, what are we going to do? So we took the mare down for her breeding and she was ready to ovulate. So the vet said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to order the semen in. And it had to come from the 4-6's ranch in Texas. And she was worried that maybe the mare would go too soon and it would be too late to have her bred. So we decided that we were going to fly the shipment in and have it delivered to the airport. So things in my mind, like I'm not very good with logistics. So this just got really crazy all of a sudden. So on a Monday, she makes the order. It's drawn at the 4-6's. They take it to Lubbock, Texas. So they drive it from Guthrie to Lubbock. At Lubbock, it hops a commercial flight. So again, I didn't really think about this. Like I'm thinking like cargo is taking a cargo plane. Like that wasn't the case at all. They put it on a commercial flight in Lubbock and fly it to Dallas, Fort Worth. It had like a 5-hour layover. And from Dallas, Fort Worth, it was to head up to Pittsburgh International. But I started watching on FlightAware and I can see this giant cell coming in of a thunderstorm. And I'm like, they're not going to make it. And you have to understand that timing is so crucial when we're dealing with these live content. So it was really a matter of like, it needed to be there. And I was so worried that this storm was going to prevent the plane from taking off. So I am watching it. I am becoming so anxious. And just as the storm rolls in, I refresh the page and realize that the plane has now taken off just ahead of the storm. So we knew about the timing and we gave it about 3 hours maybe. And we hopped in the car and we drove down to Pittsburgh. So once I got into the airport, I go to baggage claim and it flew in on American Airlines. So they have a baggage office downstairs. So you go over there and you tell them that you're expecting a parcel and they will go upstairs and retrieve it for you. So it doesn't like come down on a carousel or anything. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, is it a canister? Is it a plastic box? Like it's a cardboard box with like packing and dry ice and a syringe inside. Like, I don't know what I was thinking, but that was not it. So they hand me this cardboard box and out the door I go. And we have like another hour drive down to my vet from that point. So we were able to get her bred that night. So technically her breeding date was April 2nd because it was already after midnight. So it's like 2 a.m. at this point. And, we do get her bred. So she caught and hopefully, you know, the next 11 months, we're going to be a huge waiting game. But, you know, again, for auction houses and the horses you find there, they're not all broken down. They're not all unloved. This horse was very well cared for. I did call the guy on her registration papers at his time to transfer sheet. He had no clue how she ended up in Ohio from Texas. It's unknown. Those kind of things. People move horses all the time without transferring them, which is not really supposed to happen, but that's what happens. So he had no clue. And I'm sure she was shocked because our weather here is nothing like Texas. She was probably not prepared for the snow that she was going to experience. But she was a really nice horse and really settled in. So, you know, auction houses, they kind of can present to you that diamond in the rough. So with that, you know, we did get her caught. She was bred. So it was the next 11 months was a really long wait. But it's here. It actually happened. And I'll continue that story more for you in another video.